Hi guys, my name is Victor. Give me a break, man. I've been studying Japanese for 18 years now. One of the ways I like to study is to study something that I enjoy. So I thought, why not use the same technique with you? Now you're not going to learn Japanese from this video, of course. This is more like supplementary work, extra credit, if you will. The following scene, we're going to watch this first and then I'm going to go through it with you. It's a very short clip from the TV show Heroes. This following scene comes from the episode entitled A Clear and Present Danger. First, watch the clip, and then I'm going to go through the clip with you and show you exactly what Japanese they're using and how you can use it yourself.
いいよ。消防署だったんだ。コネを使って町から買った。そして今日からここは俺たちのアジト。
秘密基地？ヒロ、もう話したはずだぜ。
コスチューム一式揃えば絶対かっこいいよ。なあ、完璧じゃん。
スパンデックス？こんなの死んでも着ないよ。
スーパーヒーローはいつでも正体を隠さなくてはならない。
Okay, now let's watch it one more time and I'll break it down for you.
いいよ。
Okay, first of all, iyo does not mean you can now open your eyes. Iyo just means, okay, sure, go ahead. Okay, it has nothing to do with eyes. I is just yes. Yo is just a stressor at the end of a sentence. You'll hear yo quite a bit in many Japanese sentences. Iyo, ikou yo, tabeo yo, dame yo. So those are all examples of the yo ending. Let's go on.
消防署だったんだ。
消防署だったんだ。消防署 fire station. Dattan is a more casual way to say deshita, and da is a stressor ending. 消防署だったんだ。消防署だったんだ。
コネを使って町から買った。
Some of my students have gone on here in Japan to actually do some subtitling work here for Hollywood. And working with them, even now, sometimes I get emails, and I realize that you really do have to be imaginative with your subtitling. Now, in English, the subtitles say, I pulled some strings. Hiro says, I pulled some strings and bought this from the city. Now, the Japanese is actually kone o tsukatte. Kone o tsukatte. Kone o tsukatte. Kone is the katakana word of the Japanized English, the loan word. Well, that's what we call words that are borrowed from other languages in Japanese, loan words. And gairaigo. Anyway, this word is connection, right? So kone is the loan word form of connection. Kone o tsukatte, to use. Tsukao is use. Tsukao. Kone o tsukatte, use the connection. And city from purchase. Machikara. Machi is city, kara is from, and then I purchased. Katta, kaimashita is the verb, the polite form, but kao is the verb to buy. So, yeah, basically the subtitles are fairly accurate. Literally, though, he says, I use connections and bought it from the city. Let's go to the next one.
そして今日からここは俺たちのアジト。
In the next scene, Hiro says, そして今日からここは俺たちのアジト. I'll do it slowly. そして and 今日 today から from ここ here は is the modifier of ここ. So ここは is basically here. Here. 俺 me. Remember, ore can be wata, ore, watashi, boku are all ways to say myself. Watashi is the most polite. A lot of people call themselves boku, and some people call themselves ore. You can decide if you're an ore or a boku. Like me or myself, whatever. Anyway, ore tachi. If you add tachi to ore, it becomes we. So ore is me, and ore tachi is us. So he's talking about Hiro and Ando, them, right? Ore tachi wa equals Hiro and Ando. And no is a modifier, as in apostrophe s. Oretachi is us. Oretachi no is our. And ajito is actually a word I never heard of before because I don't have one. It's a layer. A layer. And in the next scene, you're going to hear the word Himitsu Kichi. And Himitsu is secret, and Kichi is area. So basically secret base, or Kichi is like base. Yeah, so secret base. Headquarters, hideout, you know. Anyway, Ajito, I believe it comes from the Russian. I did a little research. It's originally Russian, I believe. But regardless, it doesn't matter. In Japanese, people don't really think about where word comes from. Ajito simply means layer.
Himitsukichi?
And there it is one more time. Himitsukichi. And it's a question mark. You know, Himitsukichi, the way his intonations and indicating a question. Himitsukichi.
Hiro, もう話したはずだぜ.
In this scene, Ando says, Hiro, もう話したはずだぜ. Mo means already. Hanashita is the past tense of hanas. Hanas means to speak, or say, or tell. Mo hanashita. I already told you. Hazu is should. Hazu, something you should do. Must be. I must have told you already. Mo hanashita hazu. And daze is just an ending. Da is the past tense of des. Slang past tense. Da. And ze is kind of just a man's way of punching the end of a sentence. Like, yo man. So, Hiro mo hanashita hazu da ze. Let's go on.
コスチューム一式揃えば絶対かっこいいよ。
This next scene is really hard on the ears. I mean, it's really difficult to hear. And believe me when I say, the only thing I can tell you is listen again and again and again. That's the only way you're going to get your listening to improve. Listening is an incredibly difficult thing to improve. You're not going to even feel it's improving, but one day you're going to wake up and you're going to hear a word that you couldn't hear a couple months ago. And that's because you just kept trying, okay? But it does help to break it down, of course, so I'm going to break it down for you. In this scene, Hiro says, and I'll do it very slowly, one time slowly, コスチューム一式揃えば絶対かっこいいよ. And I'll break it down word by word. Of course, costume is the romanized version of costume. 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 Ishiki is the whole set. The whole set. Soroeba, gather together or get together, line up together. Zettai is definitely, and you hear this quite a bit in Japanese. Oh, zettai, zettai, so that. Zettai, definitely. Kakoi, cool. Kakoi yo. Yo is the stress ending. So one more time. Costume ishiki soroeba, zettai kakoi yo. If you put on all of your costume, you'll definitely look cool. Alright?
な、完璧じゃん。
I love the intonation here. No? No? No, it's right? 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 Don't you agree with me? Wasn't I right? No? Kanpeki jan. Kanpeki. Kanpeki is perfect. Perfect. And John, J-A-N would be the romanized spelling, right? John. John? Right, man? Ne? Sometimes the endings of John and ne mean right. Don't you agree with me? Na, of course, is also don't you agree with me? Na? Right? Kapeki-chan. It's perfect, right, man? Right, man? It's perfect.
Spandex?
Now, of course, I myself am not a native Japanese speaker, but my Japanese is good enough that I can tell when someone else is also not a native Japanese speaker. James Kyson Lee is the actor who plays Ando-san on the show Heroes. And although his Japanese has improved during the show, during the course of the show, it's still you can still tell he's not a native, and of course any Japanese person can tell. But it's pretty good, and actually good enough, I think, to actually learn from. Anyway, in this following scene, or the scene you just saw, he's trying to say spandex, which you can easily tell by the fact that he's holding up that thing, that suit. But he doesn't say Spandex. He says Spandex. puts a little sh at the end, and that's not really how you pronounce it, so be careful about that. But actually, a couple Japanese people I know I've said Spandex to, they didn't know what that was anyway, so it's one of those words that if you know what it is, you know what it is, and if you don't, you gotta look it up. Anyway, Spandex.
こんなの死んでも着ないよ。
Now the pronunciation in this scene, however, is pretty good. He says, こんなの死んでも着ないよ. こんなの is something like this. Something like this. こんなの. こんなの. 死んでも. Shinu is the verb to die. And you might hear if you hang out, if you watch a lot of anime, or actually sometimes on my Japanese blogs, people will write shine. And this is actually the worst insult in Japanese ever. It's really bad. Shine. Of course, being not a native speaker, for me, it's just kind of cute. People write shine, shine, die, die, die on my videos. Yeah, some people do that. Shinu, anyway, is the verb. Shindemo, even if I die. The temo ending on a verb is like even if. Shindemo, even if I die. Konna no shindemo, something like this, even if I die. Kinai yo. Kinai yo. And kinai is the negative form of the verb kiru, which is to put on or to wear. And of course, yo is a stressor ending. Konna no shindemo kinai yo.
スーパーヒーローはいつでも正体を隠さなくてはならない。
This is the last line of this half of the scene that we're studying today. And Hiro here says, katakana version, the romanized version of superhero is superhero. Now, you might think, oh, I'll just pronounce it like you're supposed to pronounce it. But actually, if you pronounce words correctly, as in, if you pronounce a word that comes from the English language, or another language for that matter, in the correct pronunciation, half the time, Japanese will not understand it unless you pronounce it correctly. So if you say superhero, no one's going to get it. But if you say, actually people say, your pronunciation is too good. I don't know what you're trying to say. So in this case, you're going to have to say, superhero. Superhero wa. Superhero wa. Of course, wa is the modifier. Itsudemo. Itsudemo in this case would be anytime or always. Shotai. Shotai. The kanji for sho, of course, is correct. Short and tai is shape. So this means correct shape just means your real self, right? Shotai o kakus is the verb to hide. Kakus. Kakusanakute wa naranai. Kakusanakute wa naranai is the verb that means the ending that makes it must. Add this ending to a verb and it's must. You must hide. Kakusanakute wa naranai. Okay, one more time I'll do it. I'll try to do it a couple times so you get the listening. Superhero. Superhero wa. Superhero wa. See, I have a tendency to try to pronounce it correctly, right? Which is a problem. You have to pronounce it like Japanese. Superhero wa itsudemo shoutai wo kakusanakute wa naranai. Superhero wa itsudemo shoutai wo kakusanakute wa naranai. Okay, to wrap up this tape, ready? You got the thinking caps on? What we're going to do is I'm going to put on the screen the jimaku. Jimaku means subtitles. I'm going to put the subtitles here on the screen, and I'm going to read it to you one time, okay? Slowly, and then quickly, each line twice. One time slowly, one time quickly, or fairly quickly. Then what you need to do is go back to the beginning of this video and listen to the opening scene again and see how much you can comprehend or hear. Now, listening, like I said, is very tough, so don't worry if you can't get it the first time. Come back in a couple days, come back in a couple weeks until you get it, okay? This is the first half of a two-part dialogue, so come back in a few days, check this channel, and you can see that part again, okay? Okay, let's do it. いいよ。消防署だったんだ。コネを使って町から買った。そして今日からここは俺たちのアジト。いいよ。消防署だったんだ。コネを使って町から買った。そして今日からここは俺たちのアジト。秘密基地ヒロ、もう話したはずだぜ。秘密基地ヒロ、もう話したはずだぜ。コスチューム一式揃えば絶対かっこいいよ。なあ、完璧じゃん。 コスチューム一式揃えば絶対かっこいいよ。な、完璧じゃん。スパンデックス、こんなの死んでも着ないよ。スパンデックス、こんなの死んでも着ないよ。スーパーヒーローはいつでも正体を隠さなくてはならない。スーパーヒーローはいつでも正体を隠さなくてはならない。Well, everyone, my name is Victor. Give me a break, man, and I hope you enjoyed this. I took that 40-second and I took it apart for you. If you're studying Japanese, all I can say is ganbatte. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And I have another channel, Give Me a Flake Man, which I will answer little komakai shitsumon questions. So don't be afraid to leave a question, leave a comment. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Give me a break, man, give him a break, because he sure deserves one. And when he's back from his break, you'll see his parts made in Japan. He is still not a man, so give him a break.